Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, one and all, to Splattercat's next episode of our Don't Starve LP. As you can see, taking a look at my toolbar here, I have spent some time and accumulated some stuff, some gear, some things that we can run off into the sunset because we are pretty much trapped on this island. There's not a whole lot going for us here. And as always, if at first you don't succeed, quit and go somewhere else. So we are taking our balls and going home, or at least going elsewhere, but first... Oh, damn. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hatch it. How do these hatch? It looks like it's hatching. I wonder if they just sit there until they hatch. Well, I was going to wait until Chester showed up, but realistically, I think it's probably in our best interest just to kind of grab our stuff and take off. So that's what we're going to do. Is we've got a number of objects and items here that I feel are going to be indispensable for the future. We have a reasonable supply of food right here in front of us, and so let's head to the Maxwell portal, and we're going to see what we get in this next world. I may choose to play a different character, maybe Abigail or someone like that. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll be on our way. So as we walk, I mean, it's one of those situations where justifying the behavior is kind of half of the problem, but really taking a look at our map, which I'm not going to open it up right now. Last night I really wanted to save these islands. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to maintain, to stay the course, not to give up, but we really are trapped. It seems like we got a bugged, kind of messed up map. So what I'm going to do is activate the wooden thing, and then Maxwell's terrifying grinning face. It says journey onwards, and I think we're going to say let's go. So let's jump on down. Oh, that's all right. Being pulled mass and all through. Huh. We unlocked a robot. Well then, let's continue. And it's going to let us re-choose who we want to play. I don't know if I want to play Abigail. She seems kind of cool because she has a ghost at night, which is pretty sweet. And Wolfgang hits really, really hard, but you have to feed him more, I think. And what does he do? The soulless automaton. Empathy module not responding. He's missing a heart if you look at his blueprint. That's awesome. We're going to go with him. We'll go with the soulless automaton. I'm going to call him TSA for short, or WX78, I guess is his name. 78. So let's go. Let's try out the robot. It's going to generate our new world here. Normally, I would just edit this loading screen out, but honestly, with this game, the loading screen is so short anyways that I really don't feel like it's going to be a detriment. So how long will we survive? Well, we made it 40-something days before you screwed up and gave us a terrible map. Come on, Maxwell. Step your game up. And so we're here. We are a robot with a backpack, and I think the robot is actually... WX78 is one of the new characters that they've added recently, and so we really do have a lot of the things already that we're going to need. I was hoping I could make a sizable... Well, I mean, a decent grouping of stone walls in this episode. We should be able to, since we're not going to have to spend much of our time trying to survive here in the beginning. Normally, if you've watched all my other Let's Plays, you know these first couple days are kind of You run around, you grab a lot of grass, you pick up a lot of sticks, you do a lot of basic, boring type stuff. But since we're here, it looks as though we've got more or less all the things we're going to need to survive. And here's a pig village. Hopefully it's a pretty large pig village. Well, it's a reasonably sized pig village. 5 piggies there. And I'm just going to kind of stroll around for a little bit here. And we're going to see what there is to see. I don't really want to run off into the sunset. I want to be able to pick my base location well. So we're going to take a look. And it looks like we've got a forest biome here that's kind of unfolding before us. Our first little fuzzy wormhole there. It's weird how it's fuzzy. If you look at it, it's kind of strange how it's fuzzy around the edges and kind of fleshy on the inside. It generally seems a bit like a furry sarlacc, which I guess is a little more pleasant than a normal sarlacc. Like, I guess if you add fuzziness as a variable to any object, it kind of increases its aesthetic appeal a little bit. I don't know. Like a fuzzy chainsaw doesn't seem very aesthetically appeasing to me. I mean, that doesn't become any more friendly by adding fuzz to it. So maybe that's the law of fuzziness doesn't apply to inanimate objects, maybe. Maybe it only applies to organics. Who knows? But taking a look here, I do want to make sure that we put our base in an advantageous location, because last time I felt like I was always running around to grab things. So in the absence of being able to dig up roads, we discussed this in the last Let's Play, that they've removed the ability to dig up roads, and I was really hoping that with the pitchfork and the addition of roads giving you speedy boost EX64-bit, we would be able to retool the roads the way that we wanted to kind of make thoroughfares by which we could get around the map a lot quicker. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I would love to see some way you could interact with wormholes and kind of force those to let you out in certain areas. And it looks like we've got a prairie over here. Now, the problem with our last map wasn't that it didn't have a prairie. It had a sizable prairie, but there was no beefaloes on it. And so the one prairie that we found was beefalo void. It was beefalo deficient, so it was non-befunctional, I guess. Beefalunctional? I don't know. So let's go ahead. And why does a robot have to eat? I'm a little... I think they could probably flesh out the character a little better. And now what we have learned from our last map is that we really don't want to leave these in any type of location. We want to destroy these just basically with a vengeance. Item exceeds carrying capacity. I will destroy you. I definitely feel the need to say the voices in my head like that. Like it might be kind of funny to take the actual voice to speech or the text to speech, like that robot voice, and kind of voice him over with that, or like kind of that Stephen Hawking voice. That might be something that would increase my love of the character. And actually, I should probably avoid getting beat up this early. So I am going to destroy spider nests with reckless abandon. I'm not going to run into the same issue I had last game. That was just ridiculous. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It was awful. There was spider nests, and there's our beefa buddies. Beefa buddies! Alright, so we don't want to build right next to them. We want to avoid that because what's going to happen is they're going to go into heat around day 10 or slowly thereafter. Slowly, somewhere after day 10, they're going to go into heat. Their butts are going to turn bright red, and they are generally going to become unpleasant fellows. They're going to go from being our fuzzy best friends who give us their poo and they allow us to survive to just generally being jerks because they're trying to get their rut on. They're trying to get their game on. They're trying to seduce the beef females, and they don't like it when you get in the way. They kind of see you as a terrible wingman. So what we'll do is, taking a look here, we'll probably build our base down here maybe. So let's go down here. We'll take a look and we'll see what we can get done. And this seems like a reasonable place to start up our camp. So I'm glad that we've had the opportunity now to just get going in the early game. And actually, the positioning of this base is actually really good because this area over here is going to supply us with a lot of carrots and things of that nature. Things which we could use to survive. Let me get the ashes of the eye bone. Oh, Chester can't come with us. How disappointing. I didn't notice that. So apparently Chester becomes disintegrated when you try and cross over. Chester is a one-dimensional creature only. He only exists in one dimension. So let's we have wood already. We have already gotten wood. For those of you out there sitting and snickering to yourselves, as always, I will address the joke. I will touch on it, but I will not embellish upon it. You know my rules. Warning! Night approaching! Alright, that's enough of that. So let's get our campfire going. We don't have any stone, which is a disappointing thing. I probably should have grabbed some stone before we went too much further. And I'm semi-debating just kind of building the camp right here on this inlet, kind of at these crossroads, because having this crossroad here would allow me to have a speed boost within my own base. So that might be a decent idea. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll build a temporary campfire for tonight. We'll put it right here at the turnpike. And we need to get our base semi-set up. So let's take a look. We need to get some science machines going. So let's build our first science machine. We will build our alchemy engine. We're going to put them one on each side of the fire so that the fireplace is going to be right here. We're going to build the wall around it. It's going to be a little bit smaller than last time. I felt like the last wall was a little expansive. Oh, we need stone. How disappointing. So let's go ahead and we can drop some of this stuff on the ground. We can throw it on the ground because they don't know us. Let's see here. I'm debating what I want to do. We do need to build some chests. We do need to get some general objects built. But first things first, I suppose, is I will build a pickaxe. And why does it... Oh, it's because I got in a fight. I was like, my tentacle spike has less durability. Derp. I forgot that I just used it on spiders. So now that we're in our nighttime phase, we don't have actually a lot of raw logs. That's really the only thing we're kind of missing. And on playing several of the characters, I do have statements to make about them, so we're exceeding our carrying capacity again. I do have things. I guess we'll just kind of drop the ashes there. Poor Chester, reduced to ashes. In true War of the Worlds fashion. Are there any more? Kind of mouse around and see if there's anything out there. I could just hit the space bar. I know, guys. I know. But why do things the simple way when you could do them the difficult way? And there's no more stones around here that I see. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. So what we'll do is we have 10 planks left over, 10 boards. I always call them planks. I don't know why I call them planks. Let's see here. We will take those, and we do need storage. So I think that's probably what we should do first. We'll build ourselves a couple of chests. I don't really know if chests are flammable. That is one of those things that when our last base built down at Camp Rumble Blankets, the chests did not burn down with it. And that made me feel a little nervous because the flames weren't necessarily right on top of the chest, so I haven't really empirically determined whether my chest can spontaneously combust when hit by random exploding flamey objects, but we've got kind of a 10-day leeway here. We don't have to worry about the hounds showing up for a little bit, so no point being terrified just yet. I am going to save the 4 boards so that we can make our next alchemy engine, or the alchemy engine. Oh, no, that one's the alchemy engine. And, oh, never mind. We made the complicated one first. Well, what's the issue? Oh, we didn't have stone. Okay. I went completely backwards. Ah, well. So what we'll do now is let's go track down a couple trees. We'll fell some trees. We'll get our other science machine set up. That's not right. Something is coming! How very, very strange. Perhaps the rules in your second world, the irony, that works on multiple, the irony of a machine using a log vest to protect himself. You would think that, well, maybe the creatures in this world have really tough teeth. Who knows? The fact that the hounds are showing up is very, very disappointing. I was not expecting a hound attack this early. So I guess we'll deal with that as is necessary. Keep ourselves fed. And I'm a bit apprehensive about bringing out my axe because I feel like they're going to attack me right when I bring out my axe to chop down a tree. Where are you, hounds? Where are you? I know you're around here. Eat that carrot real fast. There he is. I will destroy you! And he ate his fallen compatriot without a second thought. Oh my. So it looks like we don't have leeway from the hounds. I love how his voice isn't a musical instrument. Like everyone else is like a clarinet or like a flute. His is just nart 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 nart. I dig that. I find that to be... It is good. So saith the Splattercat. Now, I need to clear up some inventory space. Unfortunately, carrying around all this stuff with me is not going to work, so... No fire detected. Yeah, so we need space for now. Let me throw those in there. And we'll go out here and let's get ourselves an axe made. We're going to chop down a tree so that we can make our level 1 alchemy engine. I don't necessarily know if we need it, if we've built the more complicated one. But just for me being OCD, I am going to fell a tree here. We do need some more wood anyways. It never hurts to have a reasonable supply of logs, just to make sure. I mean, that seems to be one of the items I neglect the most, is just forgetting to pick up logs as I'm running around. And then all of a sudden you've got 30 seconds till nightfall. And you just simply do not have enough logs to make a campfire, and then you're running around with a torch being chased by spiders, your roommate's laughing at you because you're terrible at the game, and so forth. And if one thing motivates me, it's embarrassment. I don't know about you guys, but being embarrassed motivates me. The desire to avoid being embarrassed. Now, we've got the logs. We're going to, actually, let's turn this into just a general logging run because I feel like we need some more pine cones anyways. We're going to have to plant some trees near our base, although not too close. So I think the danger level may be amplified in our second world. It looks as though the hounds hit us on the second, or the first night actually. We didn't even make it to our first night without a hound attack, so that's an unfortunate thing that we're going to have to deal with in the future. We're going to have to be a little apprehensive, a little cautious. We're going to make sure that we're always ready for combat, I think, because maybe the dangers that you've accumulated in your previous world stack up into this one. So I know that with time you have greater chances to be attacked by tree guards, you have greater chances to be attacked by hounds, exploding hounds become more frequent. As time goes along, the pigs, I think you get full moons more often, maybe. Don't quote me on that one. That one's just conjecture. But it does seem as though they're going to throw things at us a little sooner. So let's find some trees. We'll get a hammer and we'll come back and we'll break up these houses. Let's see. We have beefaloes, so we have really no vested interest in keeping the pigmen happy for now. They don't have a king, so we need to be careful with our gold supply. And there's a forest biome over here, I know, but I'm trying not to be too far from home because we're about to roll over into dusk. So once we get these logs, the only reason I'm collecting so many logs, just so you guys know, is because I would like to have a ton of pine cones so that we can at least get our pine forest semi-planted here in the early game. And now when you're planting these pine forests, try to keep them away from the water. That's a lesson I learned the hard way in the last LP, because it will bounce out. There's no kind of clipping or collision that will keep your logs. After you knock down a tree, there's nothing that's going to stop your logs from bouncing out into the water and then just despawning. So that's a situation you want to keep an eye on. I really, really like this character, WX78. For whatever reason, I really like him, and I don't know why. There's no like specific thing about him that I can be like, I like WX78 because this. I just do for some reason. We need more stone. Damn. So let's see. Ugh. Leave me in a rough spot here. We don't have enough stone to build our other engine. I turned it all into blocks thinking that I was going to build really fast. Oh, and we have a swamp right next to our base too. Okay. And a Badlands biome. Hopefully, I guess if it continues, we have a Badlands right next to us. Maybe? Or is this just a troll Badlands? There we go. There's that one thing of rocks we needed. So let's run back to base now. And there's another wormhole. And for whatever reason, I feel the need to run up, and I imagine my character is touching the wormhole. He's running up and just poking it real fast just to wake it up. I don't feel like it's going to show up on my map if I don't run up close enough to touch it. I don't know. Maybe it's the idiot in me. It just has to touch things. And so we don't have any gold in our pockets now. Oh, damn. We're going to have to use the stone on our campfire, maybe. Well, we'll do another temporary campfire. There we go. So temporary campfire is up. Let's open up the chest and grab some gold out. We'll put the pine cones in there for the time being. We'll build our other engine here, our science machina. We'll put it right there so that we can stand in the middle next to our fire and do our research. We have the materials for an icebox, which, yeah, let's do it. Let's do the icebox early. Let's prototype it. Why can't I place this? Never mind. I think it consumes the, yeah, it did. I believe it consumed the materials. But what we'll do now is we'll research structures, and we're going to build stone walls here. And there they are. So we'll prototype our stone walls, and he's telling us that it's exceeding our carrying capacity. That's fine. What I'll do is I'll drop that pickaxe on the ground. Let's see here. What else can we throw around? We don't really need to be carrying these stones at the moment. And I know I have a chest right there. I could be storing things appropriately instead of just throwing them around. But I'm a litter bug. I can't help it. I'm a litter bug. And actually our fire's about to go out. So let's get a pine cone. And we'll use those as fuel for now. Get that built up nice. Throw those back in the chest. And before we go for this episode, I would like to get at least some walls built in. So we'll go to our structures menu. And we're going to use as much of our stone as possible just to build walls. Because I am not okay without... I mean, it's nice to have ourselves some shelter, so I'm not going to make the base too huge, but I am going to make it sizable enough to where I have some wiggle room. So, because if there's one thing that I like to do when nobody's watching, it's wiggle. So we'll leave ourselves some wiggle room here just to make sure we don't end up kind of in a really cramped space. Plus, what's wrong with having a nice house? We may live in a hellish island where we don't understand anything, but that doesn't mean we can't have nice stony walls. So let's put these bad boys in. And I'm taking care not to miss, because if you miss and you have to fill in a slot in between two walls, it becomes a pain very rapidly. Now, I may not be able to put in flooring appropriately because these roads are here. I may be able to dig the roads out, possibly. And there's the beginnings of our little city. So this will be pretty cool. I think this is probably going to be pretty sweet. Well, I just buffed one of my walls, unfortunately. So I'm going to carry this out a little further. Ugh, it's being a pain. Damn. Sigh. There we go. So our house is a little offset at the moment. It's not perfectly symmetrical. And with the way the camera's facing, it makes this a little difficult to place, but what can you do? So let's spin it. We'll start putting in walls here. I am going to leave gaps for the road, I think. And then once we get all these walls laid in, what we'll do is we'll cut this episode and we'll do our whole spiel. Now, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me. I always do this spiel at the end of every single video, so I apologize if it's becoming monotonous, but if you do enjoy the videos, please take the time. Just click the like button. It helps me show up in searches and so forth. Helps me get a little more exposure. It kind of builds our Splattercat community, and if there's one thing I like, it's community. So that being said, if you enjoyed the videos, please like and sub. There will be more coming down the pipe. And I will see you guys next time. This has been Don't Starve, and you can purchase it from the developer's website, which will be down in the comments for the video. Take care out there, guys.